Hey everybody, I'm KB Kwan. Welcome back to our channel Taste of Asian Food. Today I'm going to make Char Siu Bao. That is the traditional Chinese dim sum, the barbecue pork buns. And you know, usually when we want to have this, we will go to the dim sum restaurant to have it. But in fact, if you want to make it at home, it is not that difficult, especially if you have a understanding of how to make bread, because the process is quite similar. The only difference is instead of baking it, we're going to steam it. So let me show you my method of how to make Char Siu Bao. Let's look at the ingredients we need to make Char Siu Bao. These are the ingredients we need to make the dough. We have the flour, which is low protein flour. In Asia, we have a special kind of flour. We just call it bao flour because that is good to make bao. If you don't have it, just use the regular low protein flour. Yeast, sugar, so baking powder, and this is baking ammonium bicarbonate. I'm going to explain to you what is it specially for. Some salt, some shortening. You can use butter, you can use lard, but shortening is easy to handle, and some water. The second group of the ingredients are for the filling. This is the store-bought char siu. That is the barbecue pork. If you want to make the barbecue pork yourself, I have the recipe and I will leave the link in the description below the video. And besides the pork, we also need other ingredients to make the barbecue pork sauce. That is called char siu sauce. Sugar, some onion to be sautéed, some cornstarch to thicken the gravy, some water, and 3 different types of seasoning ingredients: oyster sauce, light soy sauce, and dark soy sauce. Well, I must stress that today's recipe is not the traditional way of making the Char Siu Bao, because the traditional way is that we need to make a starter first, just like making a good quality bread. We will add the yeast to water, add some sugar, and leave it there for half a day or even overnight before we add the flour and other ingredients to make it into a dough. But I think that is going to take too much time, and I would prefer rather to go to the dim sum restaurant to have my Char Siu Bao. So today I'm not going to make the starter. I just want to simplify it, and I'm going to put all the ingredients together to form the dough, and I'm eagerly to know what is the result. Let's put all the ingredients into a mixing bowl. The flour, the yeast. This is instant yeast, so I don't really need to dissolve in water, and sugar, baking powder, ammonium bicarbonate, salt, and water. Combine all these ingredients just like making bread. After a few minutes of mixing, all these ingredients will come together to form a dough. So now we'll add the shortening. You can use lard, you can use butter. For today I'm using shortening because the color of shortening is slightly lighter than butter, and I'm hoping that the bao will come out to be really white in color. Just continue kneading it just like making bread. After the shortening has fully incorporated into all other ingredients, now I remove it from the mixing bowl, put it onto a work surface and continue kneading it. And this dough is pretty firm, so it's not very sticky. After kneading it for about 7 to 8 minutes, the dough has become non-sticky, very shiny on the surface. And if you do not want to use your hand, you can always use a mixer attached with a dough hook, just like making bread. Transfer the dough back to the mixing bowl, cover with a piece of wet cloth and wait for the dough to double its size. While waiting for the dough to double its size, let's prepare the filling for the bao. And I also want to mention about the ammonium bicarbonate that I use. You might have seen that I use this in the recipe. Besides the yeast, besides the baking powder as one of the leavening agent. So this is a very powerful leavening agent used in making char siu bao. And the traditional Hong Kong style char siu bao, if you have tried that before in the restaurant, usually the top of it is actually bursting open, and that is why ammonium bicarbonate is used, because it's so powerful that it actually push up the bao during steaming and open it up a little bit. And this is how the Hong Kong char siu bao looks like. But if you do not have this ammonium bicarbonate, no worry, you can just omit it from the recipe and the flavor and everything will be remain the same. It's just that the shape of it is a little bit different. Cut the barbecue pork into small pieces. If you do not have barbecue pork, or you do not intend to make it your own, or neither you want to purchase the store-bought barbecue pork, you can substitute it with diced breast meat, chicken breast meat. It works well too. The next step is to make the filling. First we saute some onion. When the onions becomes aromatic, add the char siu. Followed by the sugar, the light soy sauce, oyster sauce, dark soy sauce, and some water. Add some water, roughly about a few tablespoons, to form a gravy. And then thicken the gravy with cornstarch slurry. Cook down a little until the gravy is thick enough. That's the consistency I want. Let's get back to the dough. It's already double in size. Let's punch it down. And transfer it to a work surface. Continue kneading it for a short while and then divide it into equal portions. For this recipe, I'm able to make 18 buns altogether. Let it rest for about 10 minutes before wrapping. Now let's roll out the dough. To make it into a round shape, then lift up the dough and put it on your hand, and then put a tablespoon of the filling right at the center. And start to pleat and pull it up this way, pull it up pull it up, and you can see that the filling is now encased inside. Pull up and turn, keep turning, and the last one, hold it tight, make a small little turn, squeeze a little, shape it nicely, put it on top of a piece of baking paper. Then transfer it to a steamer and wait for 30 minutes before steaming. Now set up a steamer and steam the bao for 8 minutes over high heat. Look at the gravy inside and the char siu inside. That's how I make a Hong Kong style char siu bao, and I hope you will love it. I've simplified it by not using my own char siu. I bought it from the market, and also I do not make the starter. I straight away I improve the dough, and I find that the result is almost the same, and I hope it is a way that to make it easier for you, so that I hope this recipe will encourage you to make it on yourself. I've left the recipe in the description below the video, and also I will add the recipe at the end of this video for your convenience. I'll see you again in some other similar videos. Please subscribe, tap the notification, and give me a thumbs up, and meanwhile enjoy your char siu bao. See you soon.